There is no way Jets owner Woody Johnson actually just said this. Now, he is out there speaking at the fall owners meeting, and he was asked about his thoughts about Jets head coach Aaron Glenn at 0-7, and he said some interesting things. We're going to break down exactly what Woody Johnson had to say today in this video. Make sure you guys hit the thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and comment down below your biggest takeaways of what Jets owner Woody Johnson had to say. First time we're hearing from him since the season started, and it's really eye-opening about what he just said, because I listened to it and I immediately said to myself, I need to make a video, because that was wild the way he just approached that situation. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. We're going to roll the clip here of what Woody Johnson had to say, and shout out to Tom Rock of Newsday for the video. He is there and recorded Woody Johnson. It's becoming a thing all across the NFL media now, Woody's saying this, and basically he was asked about his thoughts about Aaron Glenn, and he went on and basically blamed everything on the quarterback position. So let's just roll the clip of what Woody Johnson had to say so you guys can formulate your own opinion before I explain it from my perspective. So here is Woody Johnson.
What's your confidence level in Aaron to turn it around?
Well, it looks like he's turning around parts of it. You know, it's hard when you have a quarterback with, with a rating that we got. You know, I mean, he has the ability, but something just is not jiving. But if you look at any head coach with a quarterback like that, you're going to see similar results if you go across the league. You have to play consistently with, at that position, and that's what we're going to try to do for the remainder of the season.
So what gives you hope then?
I just think defense, special teams are doing better. Defense is pretty good, and if we can just complete a pass, it would look good. We got to complete some passes. You got to convince them that you can do something. Otherwise, it's hard to have have a game that you could win.
Now, you heard it from Woody Johnson right there. He obviously is not a fan of Justin Fields. He basically just threw him underneath the bus. It's all on Justin Fields. He said he can't even complete a pass. That would be great. I mean, that would be nice, according to Woody Johnson. He says, from his perspective, the special teams and defense is showing signs of improvement, but when you don't have a quarterback with a good rating, according to Woody, nothing's going to work out. Now, there's a lot of things I have to unpack with this. First of all, it's not about what Woody Johnson is saying is right or wrong. It's just you don't publicly bash your own quarterback like that, man. You just don't do it. You paid Justin Fields $30 million, and he is your quarterback right now. Yeah, of course we know Justin Fields is struggling. I'm not saying Woody needs to beat around the bush and say he's playing well, but the way he says it, let's complete some passes and basically just minimize, I don't know, man. That's not what you want. That's not what you like. I definitely don't think that this is going to be a good thing here. And this is why when a lot of Jets fans get frustrated with their owner, Woody Johnson, this is one of the many reasons for it. You just don't go out there and publicly bash your quarterback, especially, a player that Aaron Glenn handpicked himself to become the Jets starting quarterback, a guy that Aaron Glenn is trying to get behind. Obviously, he benched him this past Sunday. And listen, Justin Fields is not playing good quarterback. We all understand that. And he's not. And then the funny thing is as well, Woody's not wrong in a way. I mean, what he says is objectively true. So I got to give Woody Johnson credit. He keeps it real. But all I'm saying is, come on, Woody, you have to say that to the media, because now the entire national media is going to take that and run with it. Everyone's going to be talking about it now, and it's going to add more distractions to this New York Jets football team trying to figure out a way to get out of this 0-7 hole. That's my biggest situation with this. It's not that what Woody said he's not right. It's more like you don't say those things, because now it's going to create more situations that this Jets football team led by Aaron Glenn has to figure out a way to cancel out the noise. The New York Jets is an organization that has been so bad for so long. We understand that. The worst team in the NFL, and Jets fans are in a dark, dark space right now. And when you realize what the issue is, it's stuff like this. Because what coach and what quarterback can be healthy in an environment where your owner's out there and you're making mistakes and he's out there publicly blaming a specific quarterback? Obviously, Woody Johnson seems like he's not giving up on Aaron Glenn. He says, hey, there's signs of progression, and he's going to say, okay, I guess Woody's ready to get a new quarterback next year, or in his brain already. But you're 7 weeks in the season. And you just don't say those things. So I wonder how Aaron Glenn is going to operate with this, because you definitely know that the next time Aaron Glenn is speaking to the media, he's going to be asked about Woody Johnson's comments about Justin Fields. And this is just the drama that this football team just doesn't need to be in right now. You know what I mean? Like, you look across the NFL, you look at the Indianapolis Colts, you look at, the teams that are winning right now, even the Patriots with Robert Kraft, like their owners, there's no issues. And the fact that this is happening on an 0-7 start, and Aaron Glenn, who was brought here to solve the giant mystery of bringing the New York Jets to success, he's in the big hole that he built himself of an 0-7 start. And now Woody Johnson saying these things. This is not a healthy situation. All the players are going to hear it and question themselves about the Jets, question themselves, do I want to be on this team? It's just a really big disaster. And I really am curious, is Aaron Glenn built to be able to handle this? Because it does take a special human being to be able to turn this organization around. We don't know if that human being even exists on planet Earth. That's how hard it is to turn around this Jets football team. Like, I'm having some revelations recently about this team, and it's something that, I always knew deep down. It's something every Jets fan always knew, but it's just becoming more obvious every single week, where it feels like no matter who the Jets bring in at head coach, no matter who they bring in at quarterback, there's just always an issue. Justin Fields was 4-2 with the Steelers, and the only reason why I say that is because, Justin Fields is not a great quarterback. He's not even a good quarterback, but good organizations and good coaching with good infrastructure and stability have proven, at least in a small sample size, that you can win with a guy like Justin Fields. In 6 games, the Steelers did. Yes, Aaron Rodgers is 4-2 right now with the Steelers as well, which is pretty hilarious if you really look at it from that perspective. But it just goes to show you, man, there's a deep issue with this football team, and quarterback is 100% a gigantic issue. But it all starts upstairs. You need to be in a healthy work environment, right? If you are at going to your job every day and your boss is just bringing in some like toxic stuff and talking about this and talking about that, like, I don't know. It's just weird stuff. And then, I saw my boy NYJ Matt, shout out to him from the Broadway Jets podcast on Jet X Factor. He had a scoop about Woody Johnson. I think it's important to bring that up right now because this video is about Woody Johnson that I thought was really interesting. Now, it took place back in 2024 during the Aaron Rodgers era of the New York Jets, so it's not really relevant right now, but it's definitely something that I wanted to talk about because it goes to show you the type of owner that Woody Johnson is. So according to NYJ Matt, he says, Jets scoop. This is not a bit and actually a real story, and I trust Matt there. Jets had food trucks at practice in 2024 each Friday. Woody cut costs and stopped it. Aaron Rodgers decided to pay the $10,000 out of his own pocket to keep the food trucks going, and then Woody was pissed off that Aaron Rodgers went behind his back and undermined him. Like, that's just a weird story that just goes to show you the type of person Woody Johnson is, and the fact that he cut costs just to give players food on Friday out of a food truck. I mean, and then Aaron Rodgers probably thinking to himself, why are they cutting that? You know what? I'll take over that cost, and then Woody gets pissed off about it. Like, it's the little things that adds up, and that's one little nugget. Can you imagine all the other things that we don't even know about? How many times do we see The Athletic post a hit piece of Woody Johnson every year, it feels like, or twice a year, and you find out something that his son, Brick Johnson, or whatever the case may be, is making suggestions about Madden ratings? I mean, what are we doing? So it's frustrating, and this is why I go back to this, man. Aaron Glenn is not going anywhere, and I know not everybody, but majority of fans already want Aaron Glenn to be gone, a one-and-done coach. He's not built for this, but this is my perspective of this. And, I think Woody Johnson is going to do the smart thing, in my opinion, at least with this, what I'm about to say, is giving Aaron Glenn his opportunity to build this team his way. Because if you're a Jets fan and you expected Aaron Glenn or any coach to come into this football team the way it's built right now and turn it around in 1 year, you're mistaking yourself. You can bring up other teams around the NFL as examples all you want, but it's not the Jets. The Jets is a completely different animal. Unfortunately, there is a big issue with this organization in terms of the culture. Everyone talks about, including myself, Aaron Glenn's bringing a new culture. What's his new culture? Well, unfortunately, the reality is there already is a culture that is established here with the New York Jets, and it's Woody Johnson's culture, and it's losing. So it's how can a guy like Aaron Glenn figure out a way to learn on the fly right now, because Aaron Glenn is a head coach of this football team, figuring out how how to be a head coach, referring to other people in the industry from the coaching staff perspective, learning on the fly, learning from his mistakes, okay? That's what he's doing. There's no experienced coach out there that has, Super Bowl rings and all these things that people want that's going to want to come to the Jets. Aaron Glenn wants to be here, and I think he deserves his opportunity to build it his way, to get guys in the building that he handpicks for multiple off seasons. Get him another draft class, get him another free agency class, get him another opportunity to go after a quarterback. And that's not me saying I'm guaranteeing if they do that, Aaron Glenn figures it out and he's going to be our future. But we will never know if Aaron Glenn could figure it out unless they give them that opportunity. If you keep going into every single coaching hire and give them 1 year to figure it out, it will be an absolute disaster every single season. Look at the Tennessee Titans. They're doing it right before our eyes. They're firing their GM and head coach every other year. The Jets, obviously, they gave Todd Bowles 4 years. Adam Gase just lasted 2 years. Robert Saleh had 4 years. I really do think Aaron Glenn deserves his opportunity to show what his version of this Jets is. What is his vision, right? Because there's a lot of guys on this roster right now that obviously are not fit for what his version of the football team is going to be moving forward. And again, I'm not sitting here being delusional and saying like, yeah, Aaron Glenn's going to figure it out. It's got to give him time. I just want to give him his chance. That's how I look at it. And for Woody Johnson to go out there and have these public comments, like the only chance the New York Jets have is to get a guy like Aaron Glenn that can handle Woody Johnson. And honestly, Aaron Glenn has a relationship with Woody that goes back in the day. So that's why I feel like Aaron Glenn could be the guy to be the one to turn this organization around, because the head coach of this football team has to deal with this stuff that we're talking about right now, which is Woody Johnson publicly bashing his quarterback or Woody Johnson doing this, doing that. We need somebody that can handle it. And Aaron Glenn has not proved he can handle it yet, that's for sure. But the question is he going to keep moving forward and figure out a way to break through? Because if you do look at these last 2 games, I know no one wants to hear it, but the Jets actually have shown signs of progression on defense, which is a bigger deal than some people think. When you look at the defense, the way they started off this season, and you see the defense give up 30-plus points when you're a defensive-minded head coach and you have a defensive coordinator in Steve Wilks that's experienced and you have talent on the defense the way the Jets do, and they go out there and give up 30-plus points a game, that was a big concern. Now, it's just 2 games. The Jets got to do it again on Sunday against the Bengals and string together consistency on the defensive side of the ball. But it's a brand new defensive scheme, and you're seeing new guys get healthy in Jermaine Johnson, the addition of Jarvis Brownlee Jr., the addition of Harrison Phillips and Joan Briggs on the defensive line. You're seeing Brandon Stevens. I know everyone hates on him, but he's had 2 back-to-back really good games. Sauce Gardner, as much as everybody wants to hate on him that he's overrated, the guy gave up literally nothing the last 2 weeks. He's back to playing his all-pro self. He's not getting interceptions. That was never his game. But when the ball's thrown his direction the last 2 weeks, he has 2 pass breakups and has not allowed a reception in multiple weeks. Unfortunately, he's in concussion protocol right now, Sauce, so we'll see what he looks like moving forward. And then you insert Malachi Moore at safety. Like this defense transformed when they went to Malachi Moore at safety and benched Tony Adams, when you got Jermaine Johnson back healthy on the defensive line, when you traded for Jarvis Brownlee Jr. and he started in the slot. Like, all of a sudden, they're playing with the new energy right now, and Jamien Sherwood is another guy that I think has stepped his game up. He's getting a little bit more comfortable. Like, come on, folks. We have to realize this, too, with this defense. There's going to be a learning curve. Of course, it's a brand new scheme. They're used to Ulbricht's defense with Saleh, scheme, and now they're learning a brand new one. And a guy like Jamien Sherwood, the best way defenses get humming, as we know as Jets fans, is continuity, communication, buying into the system, and trusting each other. And I think that that's going to come with time. And the defense really stepping up the last 2 weeks at least gives me some sign like, okay, there's adjustments, there's improvement. But then you look at the offense, it is the polar opposite. And there's no excuse with the offense. Tanner Engstrand is the offensive coordinator. He needs to be held accountable. So does Aaron Glenn. But the quarterback situation is a legit issue. And that's what Woody Johnson said in his little press conference today, or whatever it was. It wasn't a press conference, it was a little interview. And him calling out the quarterback position, I just don't think is a good look. But that's really my thoughts of everything regarding what Woody Johnson had to say in a deep dive into the current state of these New York Jets. Please feel free to comment down below your thoughts about the entire video and all my takes that I had here. I appreciate you guys, and a big shout out to Sleeper, as always, for being the proud sponsor of Jets Media all season long, man. Don't forget to use the code JETS when you sign up. Using the link at the top of the description, you get $20 for free. It's the #1 player prop bet on the internet. by far, by none, man. You get a lot of fun stuff over there on Sleeper. Basketball season's here if you want to start betting on the NBA. And then, of course, the NFL season, we're just in the heart of it. So shout out to Sleeper, as always, for sponsoring Jets Media. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, as always. Comment down below a plain emoji if you stayed to the end. And I love you guys, and let's go Jets. I'm out of here, folks. Peace.